Unsolicited advice.
What you whispering for? Yo, what's unsolicited advice? Take it or leave it. Just got off work, so please forgive me. I'm having my oatmeal and coffee. But today we're going to talk about social media. We're going to talk about social media, but more importantly, we're going to talk about how it's exposed men and how it's exposed women negatively. You know, things that it brung out of us and kind of ruining things for a lot of people nowadays. The early 2000s is really when social media popped off. You know, you had MySpace, Friendster, of course, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I think Instagram came a little later, but Facebook, MySpace, Friendster kind of started it off. Then Twitter, then Instagram. But you know, that's how we connect with each other now. Before that, you know, before all social media and everything, you actually had to have social skills. You know, you had to be able to socialize and talk to one another. You had to be able to have some type of personality, you know, meet face to face, communicate, things of that such. But now we communicate through social media. I mean, back then I couldn't tell you what anybody thought about me. But now with a click of, you know, with a press of a button, you can find out everybody's deepest, darkest secrets. You can find out how people really feel about you. And it plays with your mental health. And we live in a mental health era where that's everybody's calling card now. When I grew up, you kind of just had to suck a lot of it up. You know, whether it was bullying, whether it was he say, she say drama, you just had to learn how to get through it. You know, nowadays, people go through one little thing and, you know, they're ready to end it all. You know, so, you know, the self-sabotage, I guess is the word I want to use. But, of course, like I always do, we'll start off with the guys. We'll start off with the guys first. But I will say social media has made it hard to have relationships, to communicate, to socialize, things of that such, because now it's all about, goddamn. Oh, that's good. You know, it's all about clicks and likes and things like that. You know, you'd rather live in a box, you know, or live virtually than live in reality. Well, we're going to get in that today, but we'll talk about, I'll do 5 things. We'll do 5 things that have ruined men when it comes to social media, and we'll do 5 things that have ruined women when it comes to social media. So, the number one thing for men that has ruined men is unrealistic masculine ideals. We have bastardized and perverted what it means to be a man. Everybody has an opinion, you know. But I'm of the mind that I could never understand what a woman goes through, and you can never understand what a man goes through. But I can give you some insight. You know, men go through a pretty good bit. But with social media now, they're challenging every little thing that is masculine. You know, they make it hard to actually be a man because everything is a red flag. You know, as a man, you can't be assertive. That's a red flag. You know, as a man, you can't, you know, you can't present yourself in a man-like way, or somebody's going to have an issue with it. It's, you know, it's very, it's very counterproductive. But they have so many people have insight on what an idea of a man is. You know, and everybody wants to say that a man is narcissistic and toxic and all these big words, but has nothing to do with actually being a man. Nowadays it's all about putting the burden on a man, saying that he must provide, he must do this, he must do that, and then maybe we can talk. It's ridiculous. So, and with that being said, another thing that's ruined men is highlighting a man's lack of finances. More importantly, constantly putting more on a man's plate to make him prove himself worthy. You got to be able to take me on trips. You got to be able to buy this. You got to have that. It's so many things. So all you're doing is highlighting a man's lack of funds, his lack of income. Nowadays you got to have 2 jobs, really, just to function. And you may get lucky or blessed. That's a whole nother thing. But I always thought it was kind of ridiculous that we get into each other's pockets, like people aren't going through things. It used to just be about love and wanting to be with somebody because you want to be around them, not what they can offer you. Everybody wants instant security. Nobody wants to work for it. It's just, it's too much. Another thing that's ruined men with social media is being put in a box or a lockbox. I like to call it a lockbox. Meaning, there's no way out of it. You're locked in there. And what I mean by that is they want to say, like I said earlier, they want to call you narcissistic. They want to say that all men cheat, all men are dogs, all men are deadbeat. You're just typical. So anytime you spend way more time trying to prove yourself, and you almost forget that the person that you're trying to prove themselves to have to eventually prove themselves to you. And that's the mind trick. You spend too much time trying to prove that you're not an asshole, that you're not a piece of shit, that you're not a deadbeat. You spend so much time doing that you forget who you are. You literally start becoming who they want you to be. And half the time, they probably don't even want to be with you anymore. Trust me, when a woman wants to be with you, it don't matter who you are, they just want to be with you. Doesn't matter who you are, what you did. So if they're making you constantly prove yourself, all you are is a placeholder. All you are is you're just a placeholder. Got it? Placeholder. Another thing that's ruined men is men are starting to pay for being historical tyrants, meaning throughout the ages, throughout the time, it's coming back to roost. Men have done some horrible things, not only to women, but just to society in a whole. And now it's coming back to roost. People are digging up old stuff. They done got Cosby, they done got Diddy, they done got R. Kelly, Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, you name it. But all these guys have done some horrific things. But now it's trendy to keep shining a light on men and everything that they've done in their past. So much so that it doesn't allow you to change as a person. I think the only people that are kind of allowed to change are preachers, because most preachers were bad people. But if you start a ministry or you can start going with God, they lay off of you. They'll lay off of you quick. Like, oh yeah, that ain't good. No, fuck that. Last one, number 5, is what I call an ego death. So the main thing that's ruining men with social media is the ego death. Ego death is when a man just does not know when to stop. You know, they let their egos take over. You know, they're not learning from past mistakes. They're not learning from things that are more visible now. That's the whole reason of social media. You can actually, let's say you got a young son or a kid that's in college or high school, and you're trying to teach them what not to do. There's so many, you can go on YouTube, there's so many visual aids now of what not to do, but that ego is a dangerous thing. And men are crashing out because of their egos, especially on social media. And they're forgetting that once it's out there, it's out there. So you either don't care or you're just unaware. Either way, you're wrong. You know, those are the 5 things. Like I said, unrealistic masculine ideals, a man's lack of finances, being put in a box, paying for historical tyrants, and ego deaths. These are a lot of things that are ruining men, you know, on social media, or why social media ruins men. Sorry, I'm into this food. So let's talk about the women. Number 1 is no surprise, but women on women are ODing on attention when it comes to social media. They are ODing. So much so they become delusional. They really become delusional. It's almost like, well, you know, I know who I am, but I can be this. I can be this. And I get all the likes. I get all the attention. As long as I don't go outside to where people can see who I really am, I can be right here and people love me. People give me all the likes, all the money. OnlyFans, you know, think about like OnlyFans. OnlyFans, I mean, try to explain to a young lady nowadays that they don't have to strip or they don't have to do all these things on OnlyFans. You know, you can go to college and do something for yourself. This girl just made $43 million in 1 year just on OnlyFans. But we're trying to teach these girls how to be decent, you know, good women, and we're trying to teach them to you know, to go to school and get an education and be somebody. But social media has told them, you ain't even got to do that. You can just show your ass on social media and you get all the money and all the attention you could ever want. So much so that you'll OD on it, and it'll make you delusional because you'll think that you're a 10 at all times. You know, you think you're you know, you think you're a Miami 10, but you probably are Arkansas 5. Just saying. I'm just saying. You know who you are. But segueing into the next thing, number 2 is body image on social media. This plays into that as well. This is ruining women because they're scrolling and they're scrolling and they're seeing these women in these bodies. And they're seeing guys liking the pics. Like I said, back in the day, you didn't have to do all that. Everybody knew who the fine girls were. You actually had a pecking order, and it just was what it was. You knew who the fine ones were. You knew who the untouchables were, meaning that they were too good for you. And you knew who liked you and who was your speed, you know, in your lane or whatnot. Nowadays, you don't know. Everybody's got a body. You know, Andre 3000 said it best. You know, I know you like to think your shit don't stink, but lean a little closer, because roses really smell like boo-boo. And it's so true, because we get, the women have gotten so obsessed with body image. We don't think about that. As guys, if we like you, we like you. We don't care about the pudge in the belly. We don't care about the stretch marks. We don't care that you might be a little ashy, or, that you got to go, go get your mustache waxed and all this other stuff. If we look at you and we like you, and we think that you thick, or you cute, or whatever, ride with that shit. Don't let social media make you think that that you can't get a man. You just on there because you're trying to attract that one guy that ain't thinking about you. Like I just said a few minutes ago, another thing, number 3 on the things that have ruined women on social media is that they think they're a 10 online, but they're a 5 in reality. AKA the filters. Filters have ruined social media. When you got crackheads posting glamour shots on Facebook as their Facebook profile, like, you literally can see the filter. Filters are just supposed to hit little spots here and there. You got grown-ass women that you've known your whole life putting fucking animated filter on their face. Like, you don't see them, they raggedy asses at Walmart. Like, I see you all the time, but you want people on here to think that you on Rihanna's team or something, modeling her makeup or some shit. Like, you ain't got to do that. You don't have to do that. You should know that you don't have to do that. We don't care. We seen you. If we think you look good, you look good. Stop it. But filters have ruined women because it makes them extremely delusional. And I'm not saying guys don't do it, but they have more filters for females. And I get it. It's good to touch up. It's good to take pictures and touch things up. And you want your wedding pics to look good, or you want to go take some professional photos and stuff. That's great. Certain things are great, but to constantly be doing filters at all time that you literally won't get on FaceTime, or you literally don't want anybody to see you without filter. It's almost like saying, I don't want you to see me without my makeup. Eventually, I'm going to have to see you without your makeup. Another thing that's ruined women in social media, they have desensitized sex. And it's not their fault, but you have porn sites, free porn all over the place. I used to, back in the day, used to have to steal people's tapes and DVDs, and pray it ain't scratched up or messed up. And so you can get a glimpse. You had HBO, what was that, Real Sex and Cinemax, and, the little after midnight shows and stuff. You had little stuff here and there, the B movies and stuff. But now it's everywhere. And like I just said earlier, the body image thing, women are putting their bodies all over social media. You can go on Instagram and you damn near see everything, pretty much everything. It's, women, and I'm not saying it's a women's fault as a whole, but let's be honest. Women make sex, they make the money. They make the world go round when it comes to romance and erotica, or whatever you want to call it. Sex is nothing without the woman. They're the ones, that's why OnlyFans is for the women, really, more than it is the men. But they desensitized it. You used to have to stay up all night dreaming about how a woman would look naked because you were so used to them either covering up or just you used to see a little bit. You kind of knew a little bit, but wasn't sure. But you sit up all night like, man, I bet you she's gorgeous, man. I bet you she is a goddess when she's naked. Now with a click of a button, I know what you look like. Whether you're a celebrity or not, I know what you look like. I know what your girl look like too. Trust me. Number 4 on the things that'll ruin women in social media is they use social backing when it's beneficial. Meaning they've used social media to champion their agenda. So they can get, it's easy to go on social media and talk down about men because you'll have thousands of women that'll get under your comments and be like, yeah, girl, I went through the same thing. These niggas ain't shit, yada, yada, yada. They've used social media to ruin, you technically are ruining things for yourself because there's plenty of guys out there that you're looking at as potential. They see you doing this. And now they're like, oh, no, she done put herself out there. They ain't gonna put me out there like that. So, I think they ruined that when it comes to that. They get on their soapbox on social media and they want to constantly talk negative about men. But y'all know at the end of the day, you eventually have to go out there and find you a husband or find you a boyfriend. But you can't now because you made yourself so paranoid. And you done put yourself out there so much, you done talk so much shit, you got to back it up. So now you can't accept any man's advances because it'll go against everything you done put out there. It's like a, what was that shit I was watching? It's like an Ouroboros. It's like a snake eating its tail. It's all you're doing. Like, it's a cycle of stupidity. You're just in it's a cycle of nothingness. You could easily just be quiet. Actually, go for the guy that you know will treat you good because let's dispel the rumors. Women, the good men that are out there. You just keep choosing stupidly. It's just the truth. You know the good man out there that will treat you the way you should be treated, that will do the things for you that you want done. You don't have to get on social media and talk about what a man needs to do because I guarantee you there's a man out there that's been trying his best to prove that to you. But he just ain't what you want. So you kind of just need to get your priorities in order and decide what's more important. Chasing attention or actually accepting the one that is giving you all the attention you need. So those are 5 things. I know I got on my soapbox about a couple of things, but it do hit the heartstring a little bit. But that's just my opinion. As I always say, that's just unsolicited advice. We got to stop allowing social media to ruin our lives. We need to get back to taking chances and being open to socializing and getting to know people naturally and organically. Stop being paranoid and scared to open up. It's just, we done gotten so desensitized that we don't want to socialize no more, that we don't want to open up no more. We don't want to really meet people and really build something. We want a finished product. As they say, you want a finished product so you don't have to do anything. But that's the trick. If you get a finished product, then guess who's the flaw? You're the flaw. If you find you a man or a woman that's a finished product because you want them to come finished and completed and have everything going for them, guess who's going to end up being the flaw in the relationship? Guess who's going to be the insecure one? Guess who's going to be the jealous one? Guess who's going to be the one that's going to self-sabotage or probably ruin the situation? It will be you. Because that person's already got it all together. They got their shit together. They technically don't need you. You got to think about it. You got to be careful about what you ask for. But like I said, I've been working all night. So my brain probably is at 50% right now. Probably ain't. You know, I just barely put a dent in this coffee. But like I said, that's just my unsolicited advice. Doesn't mean that I'm right. Doesn't mean that I'm wrong. It's just something to talk about. But just do your research. Go and look at the things that you feel like are ruining social media. Just think about it. Have a conversation with somebody about it and see if there's some things that you feel like are ruining men and women in social media. Y'all get some rest because I'm about to get some rest. Good night.